Hey, welcome back to Study Break. I'm Jared Vossingel. Along with me are Lily Percival, Campbell Duffy, and Olivia Rose McCain.
Hi.
Study Break 47.
Holy shit.
So, when they brought that Githyanki onto the ship, that was not Margie,
That
right?
wasn't Margie.
Yeah, okay, I'm making sure you weren't trying to trick me, because I would know.
Yeah.
I would know her anywhere.
Yeah.
Whoa, a lot of heat being thrown right now.
Just want to make sure.
Oh my God.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened. We have to go back. I didn't know you were going to end the episode right there, which it was a good ending, but I was like, turn this shit around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if y'all don't agree, who's Sally going to listen to? I'm about to shove Levi out of that driver's seat.
Hang on.
No, we're going back.
What if they like invaded the base, but they got away and just the sweatshirt was left, and now they're trying to lure you back?
That would be convenient.
That feels like not crazy.
What did he say about the Silver Crown? Was he like,
We don't know.
I'm actually in it and I'm a double agent?
No, I think he was like, haha, we got those Silver Crown fuckers,
I know.
and here's the thing to prove it.
Maybe.
But he could be lying.
I guess.
Common tactic.
I'm going to fall into the trap. I'll fall into it, you know?
Well, we always do.
Yeah, literally the amount of times we've gotten kidnapped even though we knew it. It was nice to be rescued for once. Hey, feels
was
good.
fun.
Feels good. Thanks, guys.
I think we can tell him thank you.
Also I kind of wanted to see the fake Hyperia.
I did too.
I really did want to go.
I wasn't mad. I couldn't believe that he was telling the truth, that he wouldn't fuck with us. I mean, who knows how long that would have lasted. But the fact that he was like, I'm not going to like forcefully take it. I'll take you to Hyperia. It's like, I want to know who you're talking about.
But also like maybe we didn't think that through of like what if we get there and like it is the real Hyperia, and then it's like,
or it's just someone else. It's obviously someone who's very powerful. So like, even if it's not Hyperia, so it's like she could have killed us.
or maybe he like worships Hyperia, but she's still chained up.
I don't know.
Like,
if we
maybe
had to look a god in the face and she was like, give me the bracelet, I would be like, okay.
Here you go.
Here you go.
yes, ma'am.
So
Yeah.
I would rather I would rather have to give it to a god than Connor.
I wouldn't feel so demeaned
Oh my
if
God,
I
it's the
handed
worst.
over to
It's the
him.
worst.
Yeah.
I think we kind of got his ass though.
By calling him stinky or yeah.
We really did. We did a number with that one.
Pwned.
We got him with that, and then he did kind of like get us back worse at the end there with the sweater. So
Maybe one of us worse than others, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Hey, at least that's not the beam that I got rid of. Beams on the chopping block.
Beams for sale.
Hey, beams. Who wants them? Tornadoes love these beams.
Tornadoes love them.
Tornadoes love my beams.
Yeah, so should we go back to the
Yeah, that was crazy.
top?
They love to suck. They love to suck on my beams.
What the hell was Bib doing there?
Oh, yeah, Bib. Bib was
Yeah.
there. What did y'all
Did
think?
you just put Bib there because he was useful for this, or
He was funny.
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of funny.
Okay.
And also, like, he could explain it to y'all better.
Yeah, he was
Bib.
great.
Bib.
Well, I'm glad Bib was there because
They're so whimsical.
I got to see it and I didn't understand shit. So
Love that Bib.
love Bib.
yeah, I think Esther's Nat 20 should
They
have told her
kill.
a deep secret. I think Esther's Nat 20 should have shown her the I don't know.
I have so few.
I love
Yeah.
that Bib floated away. That was one of my favorite images.
That reminded me of the Lorax.
That's what I was gonna say.
That was kind of the vibe I was
I've
going
never
for.
seen
Yeah.
the Lorax.
Have you read it?
No. Well, maybe as a kid. I don't know.
You would remember.
Then no.
I don't know. I read the
gonna show you
Lorax
the
as a
scene.
kid, and I was like, oh,
Served
changed
their
my life.
purpose and then floated away.
I love it. Bib is so what's the word? Enigmatic.
Yes.
Did
All y'all
you?
Yeah,
pervs.
I love it.
I love that.
So weird.
I love that it caught on.
Yeah.
we were like, we're gonna use that.
I was like, shit, that got us. We gotta.
It
get
really
somebody.
just like throws, and if you call someone a perv, that like really throws them off. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa,
no.
no.
Knocks him off balance.
If in real life I walked up and you're like, "Hey, what's up, you fucking perv?" I would be like, "Whoa!" I would immediately
On the back foot.
be defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
Were you, when we chose what to give away in the swirling vortex?
Yeah.
Were you like surprised by any of our
Ooh.
stuff?
Yeah, we
Or-
only have so much. I mean, when Beans gave up the really sentimental journal, I was like, shit, like Sawyer doesn't have a sentimental, I don't like, I mean, the pin, obviously.
To be honest, I was like, I'm just gonna like, I was the entity essentially of like,
Yeah.
let us like
Yeah, we know.
offer something that I think is good. Surprised? I'd say, yeah, like the specificity of like the spell slot was good.
I thought that was so good.
No, I mean, like that was in my mind. I didn't have any like idea of what y'all would do other than like, I was like, it's going to have to be like a memory or like some insane attachment, like something that means a lot that like it's hard to give up.
Yeah.
And then y'all all did. So that was all good.
I know it took so long, but in the beginning, I was between my beams. I was like, what do I have? I was like, oh, my telekinetic or my psionic stuff. I was like, because
I
we
would've-
started to do cool stuff with that. I was like, or the lucky pin. And then I was like, I don't know. I wanted it to be something with my relationship to Felicity.
Yeah.
Which is why I ended up severing the Felicity beam, because like I realized that it's probably the most powerful beam. You know what I mean? In terms of like those relationships, but because we're closer than Joe and I aren't as close. But it was also like for the story, it's like, it's just better for the character and it's better for the story and it's more interesting. So I was like, fuck, I have to do it. But I mean, I definitely will regret it. But that's why it's interesting.
I'm definitely going to regret one fewer fourth level.
But here's the thing. Whenever we like shared with it what we wanted, what if later like it grants us some ability to like, you know what I mean? Why would it have been asking our heart's desires if it wasn't going to like do something with that? You know?
It's gonna help. Well, because there's purple scales in it. It could be another dragon.
But both of our stuff was with beings. If I desired unity and this lack of civil war, then nobody would have, like, you know, you wouldn't be able to harness the forces of hell to control someone. You know what I mean? Because we're trying to get the briars off. And if you desire the power to protect your friends, obviously that's going to keep beings from having like this like enchantment or curse or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So like, you know what I mean? It's all adding up.
Yeah.
And we're giving up like what's super important to us. But the fact that it asked, I was like, this can't just be, it doesn't do anything beyond that. You know what I mean?
What were you gonna say about the purple scales?
Well, I was gonna let you finish.
Oh yeah, no, I'm done. You should talk about that.
Purple dragon has to be Joe's sick dragon that she was flying on.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
In the astral plane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they've got to have some sort of alliance or something. But yeah, when was that?
That was like
So
all the way.
long
That was like
ago.
episode 10.
No. I mean, when did we see it? Was that one of our specific visions?
It was your.
was
It was
in a
like
dream.
it was your dream. I think it's from like episode.
No. I mean, in
10.
the episode we just recorded, when did the dragon come up?
That was
When did
whenever
we see
y'all like
that?
touched the dragon the first time, like touched the stone dragon the first
Oh yeah,
time.
so it was as if it was that dragon's fountain or that
Yeah.
dragon's power.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. That's what.
And they kept
So I
saying,
knew
like,
that
it
wasn't
was-
like my personal vision.
Yeah, it was like sick and like this energy.
And that's why
like,
there's no.
the source of the energy is sick, so y'all had to supplement it
Yes.
with your own desires.
Yeah. I got all that.
Well, you guys never ended up asking what Bean's want was.
I know.
I know we didn't get.
Or
there.
even the visions of beings.
That's right. Well, because I think what I saw was I think Kaiba also had kids, and there's a foil to Beans out there that's a small wolf boy.
That's
instead
nice.
of
I
a
like that.
small
I like that.
cat boy, or maybe a small wolf girl. I don't know. Was that the main one I had, or I couldn't?
The main one you had was also like a plane of like fire with a black.
Oh, a
Black Crown. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
That was scary.
That felt like kind of the throne of hell.
Yeah, gotta be.
Crown.
Yeah, we have to ask what Beans wants. I thought Beans wanted to rule the world. Am I crazy?
Not rule the world.
Oh,
Beans wants good, there to be good in the world, and for him to be like a part of it.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to be a part of bringing bad into the world.
Yeah. I just thought there was some sort of like power associated with it. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe it was like the king of hell, like because your dad is the king of hell. Like I got it in my head or something.
Beans' dad is not the king of hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the general.
Yeah, he wants to be though.
The loser who's so close but can't get it.
Wow.
I mean, my prophecy says something.
I don't know. I could have been thinking of that. Anyway, that was really cool. That whole scene.
It's like when two lovers and then talks about strong night. I was looking at him.
Usually we don't tell each other. Usually we don't actually like play out telling each other stuff, and we just like know each other's stuff. But I guess we don't know about Beans because otherwise it wouldn't make sense that we.
Yeah,
play out
if
our
we
stuff.
played it out this time, then we don't know that. I guess.
I'm just the prophecy just says a great warrior. Kind of, end it all. But not in a good way.
Yeah, there was a silver meteor falling out of the sky in Estes.
Oh shit!
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Missed
part
that.
of my prophecy. Kind
Whoa.
of. Not really. I feel like things keep falling out of the sky.
Let's just
and then I
say
go,
let's just say we told each other everything,
Well, that has something to do with.
star.
Yeah, mine is all about stars falling from the sky.
or we'll have to talk about it again. Beans will have to say his, and you'll have to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the idea that y'all said it at some point during. What do y'all want to do? Do y'all want it to be that like? Do y'all want to have that conversation like in an episode or?
It's always so much easier when we just say that we know it all.
Exactly.
Unless you want to say that Beans withhold it.
Because then we have to remember
Yeah,
that
I don't
whenever we
know.
recorded
I don't
it.
think you would withhold
Okay.
it.
Yeah, then in that time that we kind of jumped,
Beans-
whenever y'all
yes.
were on the boat, then Beans.
Yeah.
We'll all imagine it was really dramatic and poetic.
Yeah.
Was there any way we could have gotten away from Connor?
If Asta had Misty stepped and ran down those stairs and gotten a doula.
Well, the stairs were kind of blocked. If you like wanted to Misty step, it would have been a check to like move around them and then see the entrance and then Misty step there and then run down.
Yeah.
Would have been hard, but then Sawyer and Beans would have been like grabbed and like taken aboard because like with the Githyanki, they would, if you had the bracelet, then they probably just would have like restrained and grappled Sawyer and Beans.
Yeah.
And then they probably would have chased you and there might have been a fight down there. What are you doing with your little
Oh my God, Olivia's sweater paws are back.
Yeah, it would have gone a little dicey. Connor was a lot more chill.
I'm starved for slots right now, so I would only have one Misty step.
Yeah.
So.
I like the way things went. I like that they rescued us.
I like
it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time they did something good in their lives.
Yeah, and you know what? They didn't get the parade, so they didn't steal all our glory.
I do think it's hilarious that they sent German.
That was awesome.
German like a missile, bless his heart.
He was like Iron Man. He was cool.
Like, help.
Oh, Germ.
So do you think I'm really going to regret severing my beam?
Yeah, but like in a good way.
No idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's going to pay off in a really nice way.
Great.
Yeah, like I think you're going to lose out on like maybe a helpful tether, but that's going to make everything more interesting because if we have all the answers,
Yeah.
it's not fun.
Oh, yeah. What did you think I was going to do? Would
Well,
you have
I
been
was-
mad if I had done a random beam? I feel like that would have been a more boring choice.
No, I mean like
Or like a cop
maybe,
out.
but like
He just could have picked somebody way more important down the line and been like, that was the beam.
well, I was also kind of deciding
Maybe, but it wouldn't be more important at the time.
I was deciding like what it meant to give up a beam.
In the moment
too.
you were deciding?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like there is a point where and like
Well, I
I'll
assume
tell-
I
like,
lose one of my psionic energy die.
like I'll tell you it's not this. Like I was like, does that mean that like they like don't remember that like each other or something like that?
That would have been crazy.
Because like your vision was gonna have like Felicity in it no matter what. Might have been a little different, but it was gonna have Felicity. And I was like, oh, if she severs the Felicity one, like, does she like not know who that is? Do I just describe it as like a figure on the ground?
That's
like,
crazy.
Seems familiar.
It's not like I didn't know who she was before I got the beans.
Yeah, and then like you just see Joe like attacking someone.
Oh my God. So what is it instead? I still remember.
I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to figure it out now.
But I do still remember. But I know. But just for,
Yeah, but like you like remember Felicity.
do I like, do I have all the knowledge of like she put the pen and she.
Yeah. No, like nothing that you know of like has changed.
Sounds like memory loss is not the.
Whenever Jared was like, or a memory, I was like, hell no. You're not getting my
You
memories.
just give up.
It's like one of those things that take your memories. I thought it was mind flayers, but
Yeah, it is.
oh, they kind of have a whole new thing now. You know what I mean?
What are you talking
What?
about?
I'm staring at her.
They kinda
so
got a whole
blankly.
new-
I just feel like some people were like, oh, mind flayers, whatever. And then Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and now everyone's like, we're talking about mind flayers, and we know about mind
You're
flayers.
talking about mindful.
Anyway, I always thought they were so scary because they take your memories. That's the scariest thing ever. So I was like, fuck no, this vortex is not getting into my memories.
But they do.
Screw you.
Don't they do the same thing in Baldur's Gate? They'd send that worm up your brain and eat it.
I don't know.
I guess
I
it
mean,
takes your-
that's what they do in
It takes
Baldur's
your
Gate.
memories and
That's
it turns you into one, and it takes over your brain. So like
That's-
obviously part of like taking over your mind and body is erasing your memories, but like I don't know, that's like a whole other. There's like 3-step process.
That's like what they do, and then I think how you play it out in a D&D game is like you're like stuck in a memory, or like it like warps your memories until it's eaten your brain.
Yeah, or you like find like a photograph that you've like
Yeah,
never
it like
seen.
it like I think it traps you in like a reality of your memories or something, and then it eats your brain. So like by the time whatever, I know they're bad news.
That's not what we're doing here. That's not what we're doing here.
Crazy, the Joe killing Felicity vision.
Yeah, no, that was intense.
I know. I was like, what the? But then I was like, well, I guess if they're Felicity's a triple agent. Well, I guess double. So Felicity's like, I'm really working for the Silver Crown, but I'm pretending to work for the Golden Order. And then she's really working for her family, so that's why I say triple. And then Joe is just working for. We don't know.
You don't know.
But we know she's with the dragon. We know she's been in hell. She clearly has an agenda of something.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that they would be on opposing sides, or at least like that they would just like both want something for themselves.
And wasn't
You know what I
Joe
mean?
kind of weird about Felicity when you asked?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
said, don't tell Felicity where I am.
Yeah, and I didn't, or did I?
You didn't.
And then I don't know. It would make sense for like it's not like, oh, it's just a Silver Crown thing to go after Big P. Like it's like a family. It's specifically like family legacy thing. So I think it would make sense if Joe and Felicity were both going after Big P for different reasons, or if they were going after. Oh yeah, because wasn't Joe looking for?
I was just about to look up and make sure.
I feel like Joe said something about a little guy, but so did Cherry. So maybe I'm thinking of that. But I think Joe was like, I'm looking for a little guy. I think they're both looking for Big P for different reasons.
No, I thought Cherry said was looking for Tara.
Cherry was looking for Tara.
Oh, yeah. But Joe was looking for Big P.
I know.
Or a little guy. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah, I think Tara was. Wait, who was looking for Cherry though? Somebody was looking for Cherry.
Oh, maybe Joe was looking for Cherry.
I was gonna say.
I think
because she was in hell.
I think
might
Joe
have
was
been
looking for Cherry.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, it just makes, like, I'm just saying it's plausible that they would end up in a fight. But to go so far as killing each other, that's definitely not anything I've ever.
Well, or it could be that, like, Felicity in this reality or whatever decided that, like, I'm choosing my family over Big P, and maybe it was like, I'll sacrifice him or give him up or something. And Joe has decided that, like, the fate of the world is
that's
more
good.
important than, like, family.
I like that. Jared, write that down. Oh my God, that's
What did you say?
I said it could be like Felicity made a decision that's like giving up Big P or something like that.
to protect the family.
To protect family, and Joe has decided that, like,
the Big P, that the greater good is more important than her family.
Yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Which, like, Beans could get behind Joe on that.
I like that we all talked about, like, what our characters. Yeah. Beans would like Joe way more than Felicity anyway. I like that we all got to talk about what our characters wanted
Beans
and what
has
we
met
wanted to
Joe.
do.
Yeah.
I met Joe in hell.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of an instant kindred spirit.
She's kind of like stealing from my dad, so I was like, rock on.
exactly.
Rock on.
My brother.
But yeah, that's kind of how, like, Beans funnels his decisions of, like, does this work for the greater good? As best he can. Hey,
Give the guy a break.
Hey, he's not
just a little
perfect.
cat. Well, tabaxi. Whenever you asked what we wanted to do, I feel like I talked about, like, uniting the realm and all that, which is what Sawyer wants to do. But what Sawyer really wants to do practically is get up in front of everyone and give a big speech and everybody listen to it and everybody be like, she's right.
So you want to be the president, the king? I don't know. Whatever
No,
government
she doesn't.
system
She
we
doesn't
have.
want a
She wants
permanent.
to inspire.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't want a permanent, like, political position.
She just wants a platform.
And
to
at
say
this
her
point
speech.
in her life, she wants no part of any institution. Like, she does not want to be part of any sort
get
of
it.
structured, like, power level system. But I don't know in realm terms, but in Frogmont terms, she dreams of getting up in front of all the golds and the greens and everyone and being like, pull yourselves together. And then everyone.
All was.
We're all wugs together and then everyone doing it.
Yeah,
That's her fantasy, I guess.
that's nice.
So there you go. If you listen to the study break, now you know. I should have said that in the episode.
What does Esta want to do with all her power?
Be a legendary, powerful sorcerer who's remembered for thousands of years. And
Kind of just like a legacy thing.
yeah.
I have that too. That's why I'm so jealous of y'all's prophecies. I want everybody to remember me and have my Arcana Ball card on their wall.
Grass ain't always greener on the other side.
Exactly, but to Sawyer it is.
I know.
Yeah.
She didn't always know that the prophecy was going to be about her, but she always wished it was.
Oh, I like
So,
that.
like,
I like that.
yeah.
That makes her so similar to Timonus. You know what I mean? But, like,
Yeah.
it actually was her. He wasn't the chosen one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's interesting.
Beans was kind of like born specifically to try to fulfill the prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's like in Carry On. We talked about this already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on.
To engineer a chosen one. What would Beans, like, practically, what does Beans want to do?
I was trying to find it. I feel like I've written it down somewhere because that's my F. Is I didn't eloquently, like, explain it.
We'll do it now. I just kind of patched mine up.
Yeah. I think he, like, wants to. It's the reason he, like, wanted to be, like, class president and stuff is, like, he does want to get into a position of power, not to, like, corrupt her because he's, like, obsessed with that power, but he believes that there's so much corruption that, like, the only way to, like, fix it is to, like, get in from the inside and, like, disrupt the status quo kind of vibe. But I don't know how the government works. But, like, it's like right now it's like there's such a strong urge to, like, get into the middle of the biggest golden order huddle and be like, fuck you guys, you're all wrong, and try to figure out how to, like, turn them all against the top people.
Kind of anarchy. Or
Yeah.
coup.
Yeah, kind of more like anarchy and coup.
Like the people together.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
obviously
very
we're
similar to,
best
like,
friends. All our stuff is going to be pretty similar.
yeah, it's similar to Unity, but I think, like, from a little bit of a different, like, perspective.
Yeah. That's why we're the team to accomplish our goals.
Because Beans is a little more obsessed with, like, good and evil.
Uh-huh.
Just because that's kind of what has been preached down to him.
Exactly. That's what he was raised on. I get it.
Yeah.
Let me.
Which, like, the whole point is that the world's not so black and white.
Yeah.
But for right now, it is to him. And
Kinda.
honestly, it makes sense that it is to him. You know what I mean?
I think
He just got fucking briars put on him.
I also think that Levi and Team One
Yeah.
is really, like, fucking with his perception.
Yeah.
It's true.
of like good and bad, because like Olivia can obviously see that like they're just like a version of us trying to like figure out the right things and have done like bad things because they thought it would get them to the greater good of things. But Beans is like struggling to understand that. But he knows, he's like, well, they're not bad. Like they saved us. They didn't betray us as bad as other people have. And that's like weird to him.
everything in, what's the word?
Moderation.
Well, that is one. I just meant like it puts it into perspective.
I wish I had a more eloquent, like, I don't know.
I think yours is good. It's not like, it's straightforward.
Because it used to be like to prove herself to her family that she was like worth caring about.
But that's become less.
Yeah, but now she's like not quite as interested in proving herself to her family.
That's cool. It's cool if it changes. It should change.
Like proving herself.
But I am curious that like once more of your family gets involved, if you'll revert back to like
That's true.
Like your like minor objective will revert back to being like family focused.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you've been away from them for so long and they like haven't been in contact with you that it's like, fuck you guys.
And that's how anyone is. Like when you watch someone you know well around their family for the first time, or when you get back, if you're good at psychoanalyzing yourself, when you get back around your family, like you're like, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
Like it just
I can't do anything.
it like reverts you in some
My
ways.
mom always
changes your personality.
My mom came from a big family. She always talks about, she was like 4 out of 5 of her and her family. So like she always tells me, she's like, oh, it's so weird whenever I'm around all my brothers and sisters because all of a sudden I'm a baby again. Like,
yeah.
Like I feel like that's maybe what Esta like kind of is too. Is like she's always been like a little like undermined and bullied by her older siblings. So like because Esta's 15 out of 16. So it's like
that's
she
like
was like ultimate baby.
Second youngest.
Yeah.
That's like so how it is. It's like my siblings still see me as a baby.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
like I'm
you're the
fucking 25 and you guys are in your 30s. Nobody's a baby anymore. But like it's a hard thing to like break.
What did y'all think of Connor showing up?
I hate that guy.
Fuck that guy. You know we hate him, so that's why you brought it.
I brought someone like this. We had someone like the most hated character.
I was trying to guess who it was. I had to make a choice.
Bib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all love
You gave us a little treat in there in the middle of all the guys we hate.
Yeah. I feel like I wanted to get a line in and try to guess who it would be, and I was just going with the worst case scenario. So I'm glad it wasn't Governor Frey.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been crazy.
If he was with like Heaven and shit, like or like the Hyperia.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, more than one people can be playing triple agent.
It would be crazy if we got the
messy.
Briars off and Governor Frey showed up and just like put some more on. But now we still have the dagger's still enchanted.
yeah.
Yeah.
You'll
So
still have that power.
we can free other people.
We should start stabbing more people with that and just see what happens.
Well, Porkchop's got his whole get up on, but we could get him off Apple, but not for free. You know what I mean? The Vortex made us do shit. So
Apple doesn't have them on.
Oh yeah, she's doing it out of her own free will.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Cherry has them.
Apple's kind of like
get
just
them
like
feeling
into the whole idea.
Oh,
You know, like when you get indoctrinated, sometimes you just
I get it.
You just are too far.
yeah.
Ugh.
What do y'all want to do next time?
I guess get back on Connor's ship.
turn her ass around and go attack
Yeah.
him. Yeah, sorry, that's what my character would do. Not to be like that's what my character would do, but
That's
it is.
what my character would do.
That's exactly, so I have to do it. And I think I'll probably die, but it's what I'm gonna do. Unless y'all like tie me down and drive away on Sally, that's what I'm gonna try to make happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beans longs
I shouldn't
for
tell
a
y'all,
vacation, but knows he must return
Yeah,
to the
when
battle.
we go to the beach, it's cold. I don't like the cold weather.
Beans is interested in like finding more of his siblings now that we do have a tool to remove these briars, and potentially if we find Hyperia and like all these other people that we've seen, or like Lunastera, like all the. If there's, I assume they're still out there somewhere just trapped. It's like we now have the tool to release them.
They know we have the bracelet. So whether we get away, even if we get away, I'm assuming they'll still be able to track the bracelet or at least track us down. Like we can't hide forever. So our first priority should probably be like, what are we even going to do with the bracelet other than like keep it safe? Like, can we?
Well, I think it's
Should we take it back and free? Is Lunastera trapped right now?
I think there's just something that if the bracelet and the ring come together, it will do something. So we want to keep them apart.
But we need somebody else to watch over the bracelet. Like we can't do it. So what if we go to Lunastera, free her from the Briars, give her the bracelet? You think she'll be like, I'm evil and I'm going to kill everyone?
Like we're missing a couple steps.
Can you put your scrying necklace on the bracelet, you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So well, I have it's anti-scrying, but we can we can make anything scry. We just have to find somebody who will do it. So we
No. I mean, put your anti-scrying necklace onto the bracelet so that
nobody can
people
track
can't
it.
scry the bracelet.
I assumed that because it's Lunastera's bracelet, all Githyanki can see it. And maybe that's on me. Not all Githyanki, you know what I mean? But I assumed that that's why they had the Githyanki and they were like, where's the bracelet? And they could see it.
Yeah.
Not because, but it could be that Githyanki happened to also have the magical ability to track
I just don't know if that counts as scrying or not.
Hey, it's worth a
It's
shot.
just an idea.
No,
I think we
good.
should feed it to a creature.
Like a giant toad.
Yeah, and then like keep that creature in a safe place.
I like that. No,
Like, kinda like-
then they would slice it in half.
Yeah.
Connor would.
No, we put armor on
That perv.
that perv. I'm just saying,
There's so much, at this point, there's like so many different things.
we could dig a really deep hole in the underschool.
Okay.
Okay, I like it.
Bury it down there.
We could take it to Mordor.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Bury it down there.
It's a half
Put-
legend.
Put a large pack of toads in the area that the hole is.
Yes.
Yeah. Specifically toads that maybe like build a bunch of their own holes.
You're like describing my dream house right now. Like the plans for my dream home.
And that's in the underschool.
Yeah.
And we also add a few locks, and then we have a little keeper that like,
A little keeper.
yeah, like Ribble. Watches them all the time.
Vribble has like 5 jobs. Vribble's resume is like 3 pages stapled, like double-sided.
Ribble's getting a job straight out of Frog.
Literally.
And then we beef up every entrance
Ribble's
into the
hours.
underschool. Security to the underschool is beefed. And then we beef up all the entrances to Frogmont. That's security. We're talking like 8 layers deep at that point. What are you going to do? Blow up the school with all the kids in it?
Wow. I have a question for you. You said that like my vision was going to be different depending on who I chose. So based on what we gave, did you like come up with our visions on the spot, or did you kind of have something planned for that?
It was really kind of whenever you brought up the beams, I had visions planned for everyone, but then you kind of brought up the beams and I was like, ooh, like maybe that vision with like Felicity and Joe might change a little bit, but then I didn't change it.
What did you think we would give up?
I didn't have any idea.
Nothing?
Yeah, I knew that it.
No idea.
I feel like
I had
spell
no
slot is the
idea.
first thing you go to when you don't have a really sentimental like item that also has power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I was kind of gonna start leaning y'all towards like either like an ability that y'all have, spell slots, love like permanent, or like memories, or like some kind of.
I'd never
connection.
give up my xenomorph tail, so
Exactly.
got that down.
yeah.
I was going to try. My other option was giving away my Ruidon signet ring.
Ooh.
Breaking my
That would have been great symbolism.
connection to the Ruidons.
That would have been good.
Would you have accepted that?
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't think it was.
Yeah, if he didn't accept
Because it doesn't have like
Yeah.
mechanical power.
if he didn't
Yeah.
accept your lucky pin, it feels like it falls in the same.
Well, that was
Yeah.
actually cursed.
I never know.
Maybe the tornado. Was
I don't think Jared
used by
rejected
me.
it because it was cursed.
Oh, yeah.
I rejected it kind of a little bit of like,
I think it
I
asked-
felt like you could dig deeper and also, well, how are we going to explain the lucky fee? And then also like,
Well, it's just in her heart now.
it is.
Where it's
No, no,
always been.
no.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, we could just like give it back to her. Like she's lucky now.
No, you did the right thing.
And then, but also I was like, it was mainly, I was like, I feel like you got some more shit.
Yeah, you 100% did the right thing, and I'm glad you did that. And I'm glad that now it's not like, oh, the lucky pin's gone and we have to do weird justification of
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
not interesting. So there you go. And I also really like the idea that Sawyer is just a really unlucky halfling and she needs the pin. I think that's so fun. And I saw that interview with Sam Reich, and he said, I think the most interesting thing that can happen to a character is a critical failure. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm playing a halfling. But I really liked what he had to say about that. So
Well, it's true. It's just another story device that.
I know, it's like, how do they react? What happens? You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, I'm missing out on that. But I can still nat one, as I've proven. I've gotten plenty
Yeah,
of
you can
2 ones in a row.
Hey,
Yeah.
you can
So there you go.
Yeah, it's the thing of like, no, interesting.
My nat ones are moving the story forward. They're not. It's not a failure.
Yeah.
Not a failure. If I
It's actually really good for the story. Did I fail
Actually, I
a
did
lot?
that on purpose.
Actually, I roll ones on purpose.
you should be thanking me.
Speaking of rolls, I've really found my soulmate here.
Your stats are going to be great.
Hey, I
little
think
guy.
your averages are going up.
I think it's because you were spinning it so much before we started, and I think that dice loved it. It was like you took him to Six Flags on a date, and I think he was like, "Oh, whoa!" I think he like enjoyed the enrichment.
Yeah.
so that's why he rolled so well.
Wow, you were the one who was really shitting on her for warming her dice up that much.
Well, that was just when she was rolling it,
You
and
said
that
I was going to
kinda-
overstimulate her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did say that.
So-
But then once he started spinning, I really was more entertained by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all correcting me / Connor on the saying N was hilarious.
Was that too insane? The fact that we made a DEI joke, I was like, maybe we've gone too far.
No, I loved it.
Hopefully, if people have listened this far in the podcast, they know our hearts are in the right place.
Talking about like the diversity of the bad guys is always so funny.
I know.
Because like, what is it? I think it's...
If you've made it this far and don't know where we stand.
It's like in the Twilight episode when we were like, feminism win because your mom was the police chief.
What? Like,
it's just funny. It's like,
there was some movie recently. I don't know if it was like X-Men and like Deadpool and Wolverine or whatever the hell, or something else where there was like a bunch of bad guys, just like some grunts that like the main character is killing.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, I was like, there's a lot of women in this. Where
nobody ever lets women be like the guys who get beat up.
Exactly. Which I was like, hell yeah.
Women, Feminism win. The bomb that blows up your neighborhood was launched by a woman.
And losing a fight is fun. I mean, stunt work is really dangerous, but like just like doing like fight choreography where you're losing is super fun. And I feel like women miss out on that. A lot of roles.
The best part about fighting.
And sometimes you don't want to see a woman get beat up. You know, you have to make it satisfying.
Yeah.
They have to either be a bunch of like stormtrooper types where like if Deadpool's killing all these guys, we're suspending, we're just having fun watching him beat up all, you know what I mean? And we don't really care. Or it has to be like it's some sort of narratively satisfying reason.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really want to see like a guy beat up a bunch of women. That's like, okay, you know. But I think there's fun ways to do it. As a woman, I love to get beat up a little.
It might have been Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think it was. I think it was like the beginning montage where he's like cutting them up with spoilers with the dead skeleton.
Okay, come on. If you didn't see the biggest movie of probably the fucking year.
That was so vague. That was fine. That's all you said.
I mean, it's also the very
that wasn't too much of a
the bye scene. Yeah. And I was like,
I think they've also shown that full scene in all the marketing.
Aren't they TVA agents?
Yeah, I think it's TVA agents, and I was like, damn,
it's also just like
a lot of diversity in these.
It's really funny.
Like grunts that are just getting mowed down.
Nothing. I didn't see that movie. I didn't know there were TVA agents in it. That's crazy.
Oh,
I didn't see the movie. My bad.
No, I
gotta see it.
It's kind of like I like watched all the Deadpool and all the Wolverine movies like leading up to it, so I really liked it. Yeah, you didn't have to, but it's like I was like, oh my god,
you need to watch all the X-Men movies before you watch it.
Yeah, I will.
I think that if you just watch that movie with no background, you would be like, okay, fight choreography was great, to be honest. But I don't think you would be like, it's like a lot of references.
It was my end game.
Yes.
Yeah, Olivia's a big Fox X-Men.
Olivia said like this was my Avengers Endgame, and I was kind of like, oh okay, and then I saw it and I was like, I understand. Yeah. That is a good example.
Anyway.
It's 2024, people. Beat up women.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait a second.
No, that's fine. About like that.
I love that you started going in on him. I'm like, you didn't even put your mom in the top 5 list. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was
get his ass.
I also just love the idea of like a woke bad guy who's like evil.
Yeah.
And it's like no, but like I like
I respect women.
Inclusivity and shit like that. Like that's just so funny.
I blind hire all my henchmen.
It's like, look, we just want
funny.
where like that's where it becomes a little bit more of like class versus like race and gender, where it's like, well, like I believe that my class should all like be like I should be more important than all of you.
Or
like,
it gets to religion.
I don't care like what you are. But
I don't care about your gender. I care about how much money you have.
Yeah, which Olivia and I were watched the Mr. McMahon documentary on
about Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah,
about Vince McMahon, and like it really paints towards the end of like
he created the WWE. In case he created
like of a lot of the decisions that he made were like only in the eyes of like how like what is profitable. And so I think like early on, like whenever he decided that Dwayne The Rock Johnson would be the champion, like that was in the 90s, and it was the first like wrestler of color to be a champion.
Yeah.
And it was literally like Vince McMahon like did not give a fuck. He was like, yeah, he's the most profitable, and he's like the like people love him right now, so we're just gonna do it.
Yeah,
because
like,
that was his reason.
No issue.
Yeah.
But
in the interview, Dwayne was like, yeah, like this was like a huge thing for me. And then they would cut to Vince and he'd be like, I don't care.
He was making money.
Yeah, I might be making this up, but so don't take this with a grain of salt.
Don't believe.
But I think that they were like, like what was the purpose of, or like, did you give any thought of like giving the championship to a person of color? And he was like, no, like he was making us money.
He sees one color and it's green.
And even with like women and stuff like that, I mean, he was like awful. And like, that's what like the allegations that came out towards the end. It was like just awful human being, but like totally motivated by like power and money. He would be racist only because like he would think that a different race wasn't as profitable. It wasn't like, like that race is different.
Yeah. He's like, they don't make me as much money.
I kind of like to call him like an all around asshole. He's not like picking and choosing. He's just like all around a piece of shit.
Yeah, which is just disgusting.
But then
that's crazy.
And there were certain things that
more
like
fun when it's a fictional character.
Yeah. And there are certain things that like he made that like did help the like lives of wrestlers, right? But it was so like he's actually, when all the sports leagues were fighting back against CTE and concussion research, he actually decided that he would bring in the experts, and like they removed certain moves from wrestling and like seemed to take it seriously, which like all the wrestlers were like, yeah, that made a big change for us. But like when they would ask him about it, it kind of seemed to be like, yeah, well, that was the best business decision to protect us.
Because our wrestlers are dying at
their assets.
At 35 years old.
Their investments.
And then also to think that like, we could face a lot of lawsuits at the end of the day if this gets proved, and then a bunch of our wrestlers start doing horrible things or dying early. Now people can sue us.
And like those were the reasonings, and not like to protect people.
Yeah, but like
good.
The guy who was like the main like CTE researcher was like, well, it ended up for the better, so like I'm not in a place to really like question his decisions.
Yeah.
Anyway, crazy. Watch that documentary.
It's insane.
It filled me with rage. There's certain parts that I was like, I got up and I went to the kitchen for a little bit. I was like, I was like, I can't.
I probably won't.
It also just kind of like teaches you the whole like history of wrestling and like how
I thought that was really, I learned a lot.
Really interesting.
And it's such an
I watched the Iron Claw and I cried, and that's enough for me.
It's such an interesting to see, like, especially from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different eras and a lot of different core groups that they're marketing to, and they have to shift it like every 5 years. And it's really interesting how like versatile they were. And it's also interesting to see how many wrestlers I knew, and I wouldn't say like I've maybe watched like half an episode of WWE when Jared would put it on in college. Like it's not like something that like my family grew up watching. So the fact that I can recognize so many of these names and looks without ever having watched wrestling is
still like so prevalent in our culture.
Yeah. And now we're seeing like it's like John Cena, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Dave Bautista, like all these people are like now crossing over, and like Hulk Hogan. It's like everybody knows what Hulk Hogan looks like, and there was like so many of those that I was like, oh, crazy that like you were so pervasive yet so. They showed some clips from in the 2000s, and we all know 2000s like reality TV and shows were crazy, but my God, the stuff they were putting on TV, I was like, they allowed that?
Absurd. Like it was a like genuinely like Lily, I think that you would like it wasn't like upsetting in a way that it's like, oh my God. It was like genuinely very interesting.
Yeah. No,
maybe I would be.
No, what upset me was not because they were saying like, oh, this horror, like, well, a bad thing did happen, but it was more of like his attitude, his lack of empathy towards just like humans, and he's so like business forward.
It's insane.
It was like
scary.
It was like, I want to take you out in front of a group of people and tar and feather. Like I was like, the worst thing needs to happen to you publicly. Like, because like, I don't think you understand.
No, I'm sure I'm fascinated by marketing, and I'm sure I would enjoy it.
It's also like a blurring of like the psyche of this man, because it starts off the premise very at the beginning, because Mr. McMahon is the name of the documentary, and that's his character in like WWE.
Let's call it a wrestling Sona.
Whenever, his wrestling Sona. Whenever
they're always beating the fuck out of him.
Whenever he like walks in, they're like, "Oh, it's Mr. McMahon."
Yeah.
But like Vince McMahon is like the CEO of WWE.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so, and at the beginning, they're like who is like, what's the difference between Vince McMahon and Mr. McMahon? They ask a bunch of wrestlers and Vince McMahon, and he's like, pretty much they were all like, some of them were like, there's no difference. Some of them were like, Mr. McMahon is Vince, but like times 3. Other people were like, oh, there's a huge difference. So like that's insane. And then towards the end of the documentary, it's really like you don't know who is the real like Vince McMahon.
And I don't think I don't think he does.
The shit he does like on
You have
stage,
to be pretty detached from your humanity.
because he has like fucked up like ideas and stuff, and like he's like over aggressive, like yelling and screaming. And then there's like interviews of him like on TV, and it's like they're asking him about some controversial shit that he did, and they're like the XFL that, and they're like, hey, like that was shitty and like you fucked up. And then he like gets up in the reporter's face and he's like yelling at them, and it's like that's not a character. Like that is you.
That's you.
Yeah.
And but then like you have like Dwayne The Rock Johnson and like John Cena that are like, he changed my life and he's like a father figure, but also like he's insanely fucked up. And it is so interesting. Just how like that was able to happen, the heights that it has gone to, and like the depravity that was also like prevalent within it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because it turned a profit.
Yeah.
Like that's why it went on for so long. It's still, you know,
Billions of dollars.
Billions.
$16 billion is what that company is worth right now.
it's crazy.
And like he wiped out competition in the 90s, and then that's why he started doing his bullshit of like the XFL.
Yeah.
And then also what else did he do? Oh, like he did one other thing.
Hey, why don't you watch the
Why don't
documentary
you watch
if
the
you want to
documentary?
see?
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
I also, this idea is like, I was going to bring this up earlier, like when y'all first started talking about this. So it's kind of tied to it, but it's kind of not. But just like, because we're talking about like sex and race and class, and I've been working on like Good Society for Us maybe, or just like some sort of Regency, like alternate universe. And it's like, I don't want racism to be in this world. Kind of like Bridget, you know, in Bridget Jones, it's like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want sexism and I don't want racism. Like you know what I mean? I don't want homophobia in this world. But then it's like the world building implications of that. It's like, okay, so if like 2 men can like adopt an heir and like he can, or she can inherit property, that changes so many dynamics. Like, it changes the whole genre of Regency. Like, part of Regency.
All of so much of the tension of Regency involves all of those things.
It's the inheritance, and it's who can have it, and it's the distant male relative, and it's who you have to marry. So, you know, it's like if 2 women can marry and adopt a female heir and she can inherit property, it just like, I'm not saying it like gets rid of it, you know what I mean? It just gets rid of a lot of problems, but then that creates its own problems, right?
Yeah.
And it's unrealistic that, you know, that everyone would be completely on board with that. But what I'm saying is, if you get rid of that stuff, what you're left with is class. Like you're left with inheritance, yes. But then like if you want to still have the genre and you want to still have conflict and tension in relationships, which is what is interesting about the Regency genre, it's all on class. So then you have to pump up those differences and that sense of discrimination and like that sense of like entitlement and difference between people. Like that has to be bigger because it's like that's what you're left with. And then it's like, well, classism is also wrong. Then it's like we can't throw out everything and you know, then there's no tension between the, you know, you have to find something to have tension between the characters. But I do think if I run like a Good Society one shot, like, there's not going to be racism and homophobia, but it's like there will be like pretty intense classism.
Yeah.
Because like there has to be something that your character is like fighting through or fighting against. Whether that's like, I'm going to lose my inheritance, or whether that's I can't marry the person I want for, you know, but it makes you get creative. I'm like, okay, well, what is that reason? Because like racism is not an interesting reason.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've just been thinking about it. It's kind of related to
It's ultimately like
to that, just of like, oh, like there is still that classism like divide. Or I don't know, him doing that stuff for profit. It's just
But I think it also comes down to like what story do you want to tell, and like what is the big like thing you want your characters like fighting against, right? And it's like every story,
and how is
you know,
their
like
tension, like what's making the tension?
Yeah,
between them?
and
What's
it's like
keeping them apart.
Yeah, and it's like some stories it's like sexism tells the overall story better as like the main conflict, and it's like there's still stuff there to explore that's like useful.
Yeah, there's still value in writing a story,
and there's
like around that.
A big thing that I've thought of like with this campaign throughout has been like in moments where it's like it fits the story, I think, if there's a group of people that there is an idea thought about them that is not necessarily the right idea.
Right.
And then what is that idea? And then it's something like whenever we were talking about the Tabaxi, it's like there's an idea that like all of them are from hell. And it's like, well, yeah, it's like, but it's like, yeah, but like that's also like kind of true maybe. And it's also myth.
And they're teaching it as part of the school curriculum.
Yeah.
I think that's such an interesting
and it's
point.
like, and it's not something that like whenever you meet a Tabaxi, there is a different group of people that is like, oh, like I don't like Tabaxis. It is just like part of myth that has been created. And then but then also like, how does the general public interpret that myth and that history and how do they feel? And it's like, no, they're pretty chill. Like that's why I didn't want it to be like, oh, like people hate Tabaxis. It's like, no, there's this idea rooted in this myth that is muddy, but people aren't like not cool about it.
But it's
because then that gets into like racism.
Right. But it is a stereotype and it is prejudice because they're literally prejudging the Tabaxis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, no, we don't need to like have a bunch of like, it's like, that's not what you're covering to this podcast.
And
that's
also
not the stories we're not trying to tell are not like, oh, it's like we hate Governor Frey. But it's also like those things of like, you know, they go through and they're like, I'm going to go through the characters from this show or this whatever. And they're like, I'm going to say like, who's homophobic? And you know what I mean? It's like Governor Frey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's also like there's people who like are misogynist, like, but they're either super evil and like that's not a widespread thing, or it's funny. Like it's funny to laugh at.
Yeah.
Like if like a brimstone boy is like, ooh, what the hell? Like girls can't do anything.
Sawyer is a misandrist. People forget that. she actively discriminates against men.
Yeah.
We don't hang out with that many men, to be honest. Maybe I should pump up the misandry.
Anyway, should we do?
I say go for it.
You know, I'm with it.
Yeah,
it's funny. And also, I mean, hey, it's this world that we created. There's no insane
love for that to be.
There's no insane history that like this has been like a problem. It's just like this is something. Yeah, so there's a difference between these groups of people, and they're like, well, you know, all right, well, what are you doing?
Yeah, and there is
you're different. You're different than me. Like you can't do what I do exactly.
Yeah,
but then it's like not deep rooted.
But there's also like insane religious cults, like you know, like New World Order. There is like this like intense like what's the word, like extremist. There are extremist views because those are interesting.
Exactly,
but in a fun way.
Coming down to that, A+s and flunks.
My flunk is I feel strongly if I can think of it this fast. I really wish that I had described when you had asked what Sawyer wanted. I really wish that I had described that as a vision of her like out on the mall at Frogmont, like giving this big speech to the Golds and the Greens, like stopping their civil war, or like you know like working together with Felicity and Joe, the three of them, like on a mission for the same, you know what I mean? I wish that I had been a little more creative with that and described it as like Sawyer envisioning these things. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been more interesting that way.
That's the beauty of the game.
You also
think on your feet.
So next time
Jared
gets deep with the visions, hopefully I'll remember that and sort of, I don't know, describe it a little bit more cinematically or a little bit more, I don't know, really paint the picture.
I was going to say, it lives in the back of your mind now. So anytime, the next time a character goes, what do you want? You can be like, this is what flashes.
Like the ripple. And then my A+ is that we got the briars off.
Oh.
I thought we were gonna get one arm
good.
down, and then you were gonna like it was gonna stop working.
The dagger chatters,
and then he was still gonna have one arm because like what would look cooler than that? You know,
So,
I mean,
one metal arm.
Character design wise, it would have been cooler if he had one metal briar arm. But
I sure like that they're both off.
I like that they're both off. I like that you didn't kill anybody. Like we got them off before you killed someone, which is I feel like what we were building.
Yeah, before I got like turned against you guys, and then
and now we have it, and we can get the stuff off your siblings. So A+ to like the fact that they're off, and the future of hopefully saving some of your guys.
Yeah. Maybe all the guys, you know.
Yeah. Pork Chop's a tall order, but he's honestly my
we'll get him.
He's my number one.
Easy.
We'll get him.
He's my homeboy.
Easy money.
Okay, what were yours?
My flunk is that I didn't describe the second part of like Beans' wants. I don't remember the specific question that Jared asked, but like it was after like the initial one of like what does that look like or something.
It was like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, what do you want to do? I feel like I could have been more eloquent in that. Because I know I've written it out somewhere, but it's been a while. And that's a reminder for me to do my homework before we play. What do you do?
Sure, you know your heart's deepest desires. You never know when the tornado's going to ask
you never know when the vortex is going to come come a knocking.
Yeah.
My A+. My A+ is when you said, like, you have to give it something. I, like, immediately was like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, easy, done.
I thought y'all talked about that ahead of time.
No, it's truly, like, the only thing that Beans has that I think, like.
Literally.
That's why I
other than his
accepted it.
tail.
Yeah.
But I like
his
that.
tail.
His xenomorph tail.
Oh, yeah.
I like that we started a new one.
Yeah. I thought
That
was
tornado
cute.
doesn't have shit on us.
I like that I started the like rune symbols based on like toe beans.
Oh,
Did you think of that on the spot?
Cute.
Or was that like,
Yeah, I thought of that on the
lore?
spot.
I like
No,
that.
Made that up.
So
I made that
cute.
shit up so fast.
yeah, I like that.
You put ink on them and you like print them in
Yes.
different ways.
My other idea, if you didn't have anything, I was going to say like we should start by like, we should write down what just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we just start a new one. Anyway, what was yours?
I was gonna say my A+ was y'all talking whenever y'all got into like the little snack room, and like divulging y'all's visions and stuff like that. I'm reminded that I should give more time for y'all to breathe and chat. I feel like I get worried about like moving fast sometimes, so I should give y'all some more time to breathe. And then my F, kind of like I wish I'd fleshed a little bit more of like on the boat encounter, maybe like escaping. Seemed a little rushed, but other than that, solid.
Nice.
Hey, I don't mind a get in, get out escape mission for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the point.
A
across.
rescue mission.
Besides, we're about to turn right back around, so.
What the hell did I say about when you told us about your Githyanki vision? It got me, whatever I said.
You said maybe they were taking her home. You said, oh, she's going home.
I'm going home.
Oh, you also said that Felicity and Joe were not her problem.
No, I said that has nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with
so
you.
funny.
That was really funny.
I would love that. I always imagine, especially since like the Vox Machina season 3 is out now or coming out right now. It's like, oh, I just can't help but imagine how good some of these moments would be if they were animated.
I just imagine your like intricate, like horrible vision being stopped by Beans, like being like, nah, that's nothing to do with you.
And then it like dissolves.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's
classic.
good.
No, I think at the Critical Role, and they deserve it, of course. But you know, they get on that stream and they're like, "Hey guys, we're thinking about making it $5 million. Thank you."
It really is crazy.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, that's gonna be us one day.
I think last time I said that my A+ was my new dice friend that I've found that rolls really nicely, but so I don't want to say that again.
Hey.
My A+ has come up with something that the Vortex would take.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I should say.
First try.
Yeah,
First try.
First try.
Loved what I gave it.
Side eye.
cringe if it took you more than one try.
It was the first course. It's the appetizer.
It's like, ugh, get that shit out of here.
It has cork in it.
It has cork in it.
Yeah. Or whatever they say.
It's
cork.
What are you? What the fuck are you talking about?
Never mind. If you know, you know, I guess.
Absolutely
I'm not doing-
corked it.
I do not know.
It's like when they serve you wine. And
I know what you're talking about.
Never mind. Okay, I'm acting like I get served wine a lot.
Yeah, on the reg.
are you talking
Little wine girl over here.
I'm a sommelier on the side.
She gets corked all the time.
Hey, yo, that's what I'm saying. Okay, what's yours, Campbell?
Professional sommelier. My F is that I wasn't more eloquent answering
That's all of our F's.
Jared's
That we wish we had
question.
done better on that.
Yeah.
All right. Eloquence
So
practice.
I
for
guess we
next-
all gotta go do some. I did all that work, like you said. Like I did all the character
We gotta go,
breakdown.
you know, recent Shakespeare.
Before episode 1, and now I've gotta. Gotta get back in there.
It might be good to do a refresh of your super objectives and stuff because they've probably changed.
I was literally. I have her little like document open for all my notes, like every session, and I was looking at it the other day, and I was like. This stuff doesn't really work anymore.
Like Sawyer came in and was like, I want to be the team captain. And she kind of is now, of JV at least. So it's like, but like since then, her stuff has scaled so much higher. Do you know what I mean? It's like she still kind of wants that same thing.
Yeah.
Like to inspire people to work as a team. But like she needs it on a realm level these days.
Yeah, I feel like Beans has learned way more about like what the hell else is going on out in the world. So like it's changed the scope of like what
pun
can he
intended.
like actually do? Who are the key players? What does good look like after experiencing like it's not just his idea of good anymore, like in practice.
Yeah. And of experiencing like like seeing what ends can justify what means. I've been excited to get back to Frogmont because
really
we haven't. No, I'm not in any rush to get back to Frogmont. But one thing I'm excited about when we get back to Frogmont is like Sawyer's feelings towards like the school and towards everything have like really changed the most as far as the quests we've been on. Like getting back after this is going to be like, okay, fuck you, you know.
You're fine, but fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't anticipate it too much because even more could change before we get back there. So don't, take that with a grain of salt.
Hey, we could never get back there.
But I think she might go full punk, full emo soon, which I'm very excited about.
Nice.
I know. Finally.
I feel like you've been teasing that forever. One day.
Well, we haven't. It kind of only works when you're in like a.
One day we'll get full emo punk. Swear.
I'm also not very good at playing. It doesn't come very naturally to me for me to play emo punk.
So you never had emo punk.
I never had a real emo punk phase, so this will be living it out. But it doesn't come naturally to me like playing a jock.
Couldn't be me.
I know. I'll take a leaf out of you.
For real.
I had that thick eyeliner.
Yeah, you did.
And your sweater paws.
No, that's a now.
No, she has right now for listeners. You can't see it.
Thinking about old.
The sweater paw.
Did we all say all
thinking about old Olivia.
All our stuff? Okay. Thinking about old Olivia?
I try not to think about
Like what? Like a cougar?
No.
Like you wish she was a MILF?
No, I think like past
Like
Olivia.
past
That's what he's talking
young
about.
Olivia.
I thought you meant like you were thinking about Olivia getting older. I was like, she's gonna look good.
A lot more soft spoken, if you could imagine.
Way more soft spoken.
Well, I could imagine that. I told y'all about when I was a kid, I was a puss.
Yeah, we know.
That's one of our
That tracks.
that's one of the clips of Gavin
I'm a big puss.
that we posted. It's me saying I was a puss.
That's you.
Campbell edited it.
Hey, I just edited it.
No, it's great. It's great editing.
I just edit it and post it.
Well, and with that, I think it's about time that we wrap this up, and we
got cookies. We got cookies out the oven.
We got cookies, but we also
Yeah, 3 hours ago.
We're gonna have cookies out the oven next week on episode 48.
Whoa, we're getting
result.
towards the end of the year.
Yeah, we are.
Episode 49 is going to be the last episode of the year, guys.
What? Can it be episode 50? Oh, I thought you meant of the Frogmont year. I was like, please make it a whole number.
No, I meant of
not a whole number,
2024.
but an even number. Okay, that's fine.
The last main episode of the
I don't care
year.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get your wuggies in a twist.
But,
No
and
way.
we got a little bit of ways to go to where we want to end, to where I want to end in episode 49. So
Guess we shouldn't have ended the episode.
next, maybe we should.
Jared.
Let's.
So that next episode we got to start moving.
And you know what? You know what else we have to stop recording to go do? Pack up the merch y'all ordered. That's right. We have a website with a merch shop. So it's galsandgoblins.com. Head on over there. Check it out.
And if you think it looks cool, say thank you, Lily.
Yeah, and thank you, Olivia,
Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Olivia.
because we worked together to birth it.
So true.
Oh, wow.
Out of.
Congrats.
Out of you know where it came out of, and
What?
it looks really good, and
My
it
vagina.
should function really well. I guess tell us if it doesn't. But go on there and order some merch. There's some awesome stickers.
Yeah, see how much you can order. Try to break it. You
Try
know?
to break the record.
Try to break it.
Try to make us run out of little bubble shipping containers.
There's stickers, there's tote bags, there are maybe Beans plushies if they're left, and maybe Frogmont travel posters.
And if you go there right now, if you're listening to this and you go there and there's not, and you want them, then get in the comments and
Yeah.
demand what you want.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, let us know what merch you want in the comments.
Yeah, we know a guy.
Make your voice heard. We need to know what people will buy. So let us know. Yeah. Okay.
What you want.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Man.